Morning, this is Juliet Yelverton here at Healing Waters Sanctuary, and I just want to talk with you this morning about the trauma skills training that we're running here for people who are working with other people suffering from trauma. It may be therapists and practitioners, but it could be carers, teachers, any of the many people in our society that are coming up against problems with other people that are suffering from trauma, which is most of us. And I have Olga here, and Olga has been doing the training this year, and we're halfway through this training, and we have a new training running in 2017. So I just want to ask Olga, since she also has a very specialist field of working with trauma, in working with pre and perinatal trauma, and she runs a conference in Ireland for people that have experienced loss of a twin within the womb, which is called womb twin loss. So this is Olga Waters, and I'd like to say welcome to you, Olga.
Thank you, Julia.
Yeah. So you've been doing the training with me, and you came all the way from Ireland. You found that the training was happening here, and you came all the way from Ireland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did you come so far to do this work?
Because I think this work is very, very needed in the world. I think an awful lot of people don't realise how traumatised they actually are themselves.
That's right. Many people are highly traumatised. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's invaluable work. And I was working with a client recently who would have found themselves, thought of themselves as invisible, not seen. And I was helping the client through, and through the skills I had learned with you, through the trauma training skills, I was able to help that client with the tools that I had used from your training skills. And it was the piece of the jigsaw really that was missing. So it's just invaluable, absolutely, it's powerful.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that you've touched upon there. Firstly, in the prenatal field, where people lose twins in the womb, or that they have very traumatic experiences in the womb, it can lead to such a large amount of trauma, and the sense of no sense of self. No, that they don't exist in the world, and it's very hard for them to actually become the people that they were destined to be as a soul when they arrived and into their bodies. They're not really fulfilling.
No, they don't fulfill their potential. But when I asked the lady at the end of the session to feel her face, her whole body, she just broke down in tears. And the relief, just to realise in that moment that she was safe and that she was actually in the world, was just beautiful to witness.
Yeah, it's very profound, the work, and very rewarding. So one of the issues with trauma is that for many years people have felt that if you can just get into an emotion intensely, then you can clear it. That was the thing in the 60s with the primal scream approach, and the idea of catharsis, but that is very rewounding, as we've discovered, and re-traumatizing. And thanks to the work of Dr. Peter Levine particularly, and Bessel van der Kolk, we now know the importance of working somatically through the body.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's the missing piece, isn't it?
That's
Olga?
the missing piece, absolutely. Yeah. That's crucial.
Yeah. So it's okay to take what we consider the top-down psychotherapeutic approach, and a lot of that work is invaluable, but unless it's coupled with a referral back to the body.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
because the body has all the answers. The body knows exactly what it needs to do.
Yes, and we need to integrate the body, and we need to be in our bodies in order to survive and move forward with our work on the planet. And when we've been traumatised, we're often very numbed out. So this is the experience you had as well with.
Yeah, so that lady was totally numb. She was 70 years of age, and she all her life she was numb. She felt numb. But for once in her life, at 70 years of age, to realise I'm alive. Yeah. It was just beautiful to see.
Yeah.
So she now knows what she needs to do when she does feel numb again, that she has the tools herself now, that she just needs to feel into her body and feel I'm here.
Yeah.
So it's powerful. It's you can't. This is amazing work, and it's very, very important.
Yeah. So the numbing happens as part of our reptilian brain, that when we experience ourselves as being in dire danger, then as a last resort the brain will numb the body. But unfortunately, because humans become traumatized, that mechanism doesn't switch off, and that effect of numbness can continue throughout a whole lifetime,
Yes.
with people dissociating, disconnecting and feeling numb and not feeling present, not being able to really motivate themselves to engage in life.
Yeah.
So
And with this lady as well, because she had lost a twin early on, you know, prenatally, she had blamed herself for the loss of the twin. She had blamed herself. She was suffering from survivor guilt. So it was her fault that the twin had died, even though in reality we know it wasn't her fault. But so that's why she felt numb. She didn't want to live. She felt she didn't deserve to live. But to actually sit there and realise, well, actually I do deserve to live. It wasn't my fault. And to feel herself in her space. I'm here and I deserve to be here.
Yeah, very, very profound. So Olga, can you say a little bit about the personal benefits that you've had from the training?
Yeah, this training has been invaluable to me because I work in the education sector as well, and I would find an awful lot of people who are in the education sector would be traumatised. And I notice when I'm working with people now who are I can recognise that they're traumatised, and I can deal with them with much more compassion than I would have done before I did the trauma training. And also I would have been, obviously being a womb twin myself, I would have numbing as well. So the fact that I did I am doing this training with Juliet, and I'm doing the touching, and I'm here and I deserve to be here, has changed me as well, hugely, and I couldn't recommend this training highly enough.
Thank you, I'm so trying to try that. God, I so want to get the message out to you and everyone that this is such important work at this time on the planet, where so many people are traumatised, that we have such a huge spiral of trauma happening, and we really need to heal it at this point. It's critical, and it's the effect of as each one of us heal, then this has such a profound effect on our family members. Even though we may think, oh, it's our family member that's really the problem and suffering, by you doing your own healing, then that immediately changes the relationship with the family member, and they begin to heal as well. I've seen it so much.
And that's happening in my family as well at the
That's
moment.
happening for you, yes.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about that?
Well, because I am starting to do my own healing myself, it has a ripple effect on the rest of the family. I am changing, so as a result they're also changing. And the dynamics within the family and the relationship within the family is much better, because I can take a step back now. And
Yes.
Whereas before I would have got enmeshed in all the dynamics, whereas now I just take a step back and just let it go and just watch. But it's here. I mean, the ripple effect is lovely to see. Yeah.
So it's like unraveling the knots of we have a web of life, an interconnected web of life, but it's become very tangled and very knotted up, and or very broken in places. And when we suffer from trauma, we are intensely reactive.
Yeah.
And that reaction may be that we get easily into conflict, or that we may easily run away from situations and not have the capacity to resolve them. We may not have the voice to speak our feelings, we may feel unworthy, and we may totally freeze. So when we start to heal the body and we're no longer reactive, then when we meet other people that are traumatized, then we can actually be compassionate and kind and understanding and supportive and help them. And by doing so, we'll not trigger them into more and more reactivity themselves, that they can then begin to step back and start to heal.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's really beautiful to watch that happening. So Olga, can you tell me about the conference that you're running this year?
Yeah, so I'm going to be running a Womb Twin conference in October, probably the second week in October, and it'll be, obviously I will be bringing in all this training that I've learned with Juliet to it, and I hope that I hope doctors and nurses and caregivers will take this on board, because this is just incredible. So the Womb Twin conference is the second week in October, and it is, for any information on it, it's wombtwin.com.
So we'll put that underneath this video, the URL for that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. And just to say as well that Olga first came to Healing Waters, and we first started working together as a result of the prenatal work that we do here at the Sanctuary, and that we regularly run pre and perinatal trauma resolution weekends. And the next one coming up is this coming weekend, which is the 18th and 19th of June 2016. So we still have a few places if you're drawn to come. And by identifying what the traumatic imprint that that happened in the womb or in the birth process, it's possible to, without distress, safely repattern it. And this is very profound, because what happens in our womb times is the strongest imprint on our entire life, and that we may run our life from the point of view of an experience that totally significantly undermined us. And by revisiting that in a gentle way and repatterning, the things in our life can start to unravel and change and be more sustainable, because when we're running from a point of view of trauma, our lives are not sustainable. So do keep in touch, because we run these workshops 3 or 4 times a year, plus our training for trauma skills. All of the information will be beneath this video, and if you would like to contact us about any of the work that we do, we really welcome you. Because we want the work to spread.
Yeah, exactly.
I really want people to be well. That's my mission.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll be with you there. Yeah.
And Olga, is there anything else that you want to share?
Well, I'd just like to say, since I did the pre and perinatal work with you and Julia, it gave me the confidence. I mean, that was life changing for me, and it gave me the confidence that I needed to actually put the work in place. And now it's. And then with the trauma training skills on top of that has just profoundly helped me to be in
your body,
and in my power,
because we're here on this planet, each one of us with a purpose, and when we can't connect to our purpose because we're in such a haze of trauma, numbed out or in a lot of anger, then we're not doing what we came here to do. So as we get aligned and empowered through healing ourselves, then things begin to shift. It's really important. And one thing that I just want to say is that you said about how much the trauma work is needed.
Oh yes. Yeah.
And that it's just not recognised very widely that trauma is a significant problem, and that we need to address it by empowering all of our public workers, so that these are the police force, schools, teachers, medical practitioners, social workers, right across the board. They all need trauma skills, because at the moment we're at the state with trauma the way we were about other physical disabilities. There's no care for people suffering from trauma, so people are being re-traumatized and blamed for the fact they're suffering from trauma with no understanding. And they're not, when they're in a difficult situation in a job, then they're actually being penalised and labelled as being incapable, incompetent, lazy, dishonest, many of these things. But the reality is that there's trauma at work, and we need to really address this. We really need to make provision, just the way we made provision for people with disabilities by making disability accesses and special provisions so that disabled people could come to work. This needs to happen for trauma as well. Yeah. So we could go on all day. There's so much to talk about, but I really look forward to meeting you. So do be in touch, and do follow up Olga's work in Ireland, which is very cutting edge. Just as how many people might have been a wounding? What's the percentage of?
The percentage is 1 in 8 people.
So out of every 8 people, one of them may have had a twin in the womb that died in the womb. That it's very, very common.
Yes,
And
very
that
common.
and that leaves people with feeling a great amount of loss in their
Yeah.
lives. They don't know why.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And guilt and so on.
A lot of people don't realise they are, and they think differently, and they buy things in twos, and yeah, it's a big thing.
So there's a whole pattern of symptoms.
There's
that-
a whole pattern of symptoms,
Yeah.
but I'm here to help.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Olga's, if you have a suspicion you might have been a womb twin, one of those 1 in 8,
Yeah.
then do get in touch with Olga, and she can help you with lots of resources and information. And for any generalised experiences around trauma, do come to the sanctuary. So thank you very much for being here today, and I look forward to speaking to you again on another occasion.
Thank you very much. Julie.
Thank you, Olga. Yeah.